All eyes have been on Chris Rock and how he was going to respond to the now infamous 2022 Oscar slap from Will Smith. Especially with the comedian starting his new tour, fans who had already purchased tickets were excited to hear what his jokes about the situation were going to be. During his first show at the Wilbur Theater in Boston, the front two rows gave him a standing ovation when he came out on stage. The 57-year-old comedian performed at the Wilbur Theater and opened up by saying to the crowd, "So, how was your weekend?" Clearly alluding to the incident on everyone's mind. After the crowd sat back down, he continued by saying with tears in his eyes, "Let me be all misty and shit. I don't have a bunch of shit to say about that." He then added, "I'd written a whole show before this weekend. I'm still processing what happened, so at some point I'll talk about that shit. It'll be serious, it'll be funny, but right now I'm going to tell some jokes." He also confirmed that he had not spoken to anyone despite what you may have heard. For his second show in Boston, Rock took to the stage dressed in all white and began his set once again by addressing what happened over the weekend. However, this time he had to deal with a lot of issues at his show. Stick around to hear about how he shut down this heckler who yelled out about Will Smith though. On top of the heckler, another man was actually arrested at Chris Rock's show after he caused a big disruption and attempted to attack a police officer. The Boston Police Department later told People magazine that two patrons watching the show caused a loud disturbance over the venue's requirement that they wear a mask. This happened at around 8:30 p.m., but only one person was arrested. I'm guessing the other person magically discovered their mask when the handcuffs decided to come out. They continued by saying that one of the patrons was compliant with the request, the second became increasingly agitated, yelling loudly, disrupting the show, and physically towards the officer and theater staff. The person was later identified as 25-year-old Caleb Hurd of Quincy, Massachusetts. Hurd pushed the officer and theater staff and also struck the officer in the leg, according to officials. Once Hurd was removed from the venue, the police then apparently pepper sprayed him because he continued to try to attack the officer responding to the call. Rock has also been having some issues with fans who are overpaying for his tickets and then complaining that he doesn't really talk about the Will Smith situation. TickPick, an app that promises no service fees and the lowest prices on the market with a price match guarantee, even tweeted out, "We sold more tickets to see Chris Rock overnight than we did in the past month combined." Currently, his 7:30 p.m. shows are going for over $1,000, with the 10 p.m. encore and subsequent dates going for upwards of $380 a ticket. At the second show, Rock had to shut down a heckler who decided to yell out "F Will Smith." After that heckler yelled out, "F Will Smith" chants started to ring out in the audience, although Chris repeatedly said "no, no, 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 no" in response, clearly indicating to his audience that just because Will Smith did something that they didn't like, that didn't mean that it was open season to chant hate towards him. And just like that, Chris Rock became even more respectable in my eyes. I mean, if anyone is justified in letting his audience hate on Will Smith, it's this guy. But instead, he just chooses to keep it classy. Rock also confirmed that he would not be taking any legal action against Will Smith for the slap, but that doesn't mean that the Academy won't be serving up some disciplinary action. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this though, because that's all the time we have for today. So stay classy, and I'll see you in the next one.